All right, so today we're doing Chapter 7, Lesson 1. Again, a bulk of your information is coming straight from this lesson. Let's go ahead and take a look at our vocab. For the first time ever, we have math symbols added to the vocab. Don't worry about writing all this down. We will learn every single one as we go along today. Again, devices should be closed. We're paying attention. If you have questions, raise your hand. Let's start off with the vocab. First off, we need to learn what an angle is. An angle is formed by two rays, so they call them rays, but they're basically lines, that share a common endpoint. So there is a very specific definition. So, for example, two rays are two lines that share an endpoint, meaning they end. Not to be confused with this. What happens when two lines cross? Amp up group again, you're muted because you already know the answer. Those of you that are not in my amp up, what does that make when two lines cross? We all should know this. They are, yes, but what do they make? That's the question. They make a what? There you go. They make an intersection. When two lines cross, they make an intersection. Technically, this makes 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a singular angle. So two lines or two rays meet at an endpoint to form one angle. That endpoint is known as the vertex. That's your first vocab term, vertex. So again, two rays or lines that come to an endpoint and meet to form an angle also form a vertex. That point is a vertex. Now we need to learn about types of angles. There are various types of angles. The first angle I'm going to teach you guys about is called a right angle. And I have to walk with the mic now, unfortunately, because I have to go to the TV. Oh, there's a bottle there. A right angle, if you grab a piece of paper, is formed by two straight lines. This corner right here is a right angle. If I were to put my right angle up to my TV here, you notice, is this angle a right angle? No. Is it bigger or is it smaller than my right angle? Okay. A right angle is also known as 90 degrees. Angles are measured in numbers. So this is a 90-degree angle. So if this one is smaller than a right angle, right off the bat, we know that this angle has to be what, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, well, you guys are jumping to vocab terms. I'm talking about numbers still. Has to be smaller, or we don't say smaller, we say less than 90 degrees. So this is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Therefore, we're going to learn about what that is called. Some of you guys were ahead and said the answer. Here are your types of angles. So we already talked about a 90-degree angle or a right angle. A right angle is exactly 90 degrees, and that's sloppy drawing. Thank you. So again, 90-degree angle. If I were to start at 12, that would be a 90-degree angle. Can anybody give me another 90-degree angle on the clock without me starting at 2 or 12? Who can give me another 90-degree angle? 9 and 6. Okay. If one's pointing at 9 and one's pointing at 6, that's another 90-degree angle. Anybody else have a different one? 3 and 6. Okay, I can do 3 and 6. 90-degree angle. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and keep it at 3 o'clock. That's a 90-degree angle. Now, an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So if one of my lines is at 12, what does the other line point to, ladies and gentlemen? 1 or 2 would be correct in this one. That would make it a smaller angle. You can also point at 2. That would also still be an acute angle, less than 90 degrees. The third type is an obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees. So if I started at 12, what numbers can it point to, ladies and gentlemen?
5, 8, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Okay, so 4, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 7. Now you're kind of pushing it close. After 7, what do we have? 8, and that's it. We can't do anything else because it depends if this is the angle or if this is the angle. But an obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. So for this example, we'll just leave it pointing at the 4. And then a straight angle is literally just a straight line. So from 12 to 6 or any numbers that are opposite each other, that would form a 180 degree angle. Was that your question? So again, make sure you guys know all these types of angles because this is going to be on the test. So when Rowan asked, is the test going to be a vocab test? It's going to be a hybrid of both because a lot of what they're asking is what type of angle is this?
The 90-degree angle, like, what if, like, you got it like this, but, like, this part is shorter? Does it still count as a 90?
We'll get to it because there's a specific thing that you note to make sure you know it's a 90-degree angle. So let me get to that. One of the things you guys want to do or look at, so sometimes you may look at it and you go, oh, that line's shorter or it doesn't look exactly straight. You guys have seen this when you guys deal with shapes. A 90-degree angle is actually indicated by a square. If you see this symbol here, you automatically know it's a 90-degree angle. Make sure that is in your notes. If I draw the exact same type of shape, but now you see like a circle, that is not a 90-degree angle. 90-degree angles will always be indicated by that little square. All right, moving on. Oop, there we go. We'll just leave that as is. So, real world link. This guy is riding his bike. He's jumping off a ramp. That ramp forms an angle. What type of angle is that, ladies and gentlemen? That's an acute angle. Remember, the angle's drawn right here. So this is the angle there. That's an acute angle. All right, now we're going to be dealing with intersections. Because like I said earlier, when two lines intersect, that makes how many angles? Ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 different angles. So this is very important. You guys pay close attention. Do you need to move? You can move if you need to move. Because I know I'm in the way. Do you want to move? Right there, back there, or there. Yeah. Sorry. I know the way I'm setting up for recording is in the way. Sorry. So, first thing we're talking about is vertical angles. Okay? 2 angles that are vertical, so vertical angles, are if they are opposite angles formed by an intersection of 2 lines. In the last period, I asked them what is a vertical angle. There's 2 parts of it. One, they are opposite angles, but it has to be formed by a what, ladies and gentlemen? So they cannot just be like this. I can't just go, here's one angle, here's another angle, they're vertical. No, they have to be vertical because they're formed by 2 intersecting lines. So in this case, what pair of angles can be vertical? They are opposite each other. What pairs, ignore the answer down there. What pairs are vertical, ladies and gentlemen? 1 and 3 are vertical to each other, and 2 and 4 are vertical to each other. Okay, that's the first part of it. The second part is that vertical angles are congruent or have the same measure or have the same value. So angle 2, if I were to tell you angle 2 is 95 degrees, you would already know angle 4 equals what, ladies and gentlemen? 95 degrees, because they're congruent. If angle 1 is 45 degrees, angle 3 is? If angle 1 is 45 degrees, angle 3 is also 45 degrees. So that means they're congruent. And here's a symbol for congruent. We made the joke earlier that's like a Spanish equal sign because it's got the little thing. Or as Jaden said, because he was really hungry, 2 pancakes and a slice of bacon. Gerlene's trying not to laugh. So make sure that you guys write that. That not only shows that they're equal, it shows that they're congruent to each other. And that's a big, big thing because, again, congruency deals with vertical angles. So remember, vertical and congruent are going to be a package deal. Make sure you guys have that in your notes. They are very closely related, and pretty much if they ask that question, it's going to be both of those answers. Congruent means that the 2 angles are the same measurement or the same value. So value or angle 1 equals angle 3. Now, let's go off script a little bit. We just learned what a straight angle is, right? Let's ignore angles 1 and 4. We're going to ignore angles 1 and 4. Angles 2 and 3 together, the two angles would make what, ladies and gentlemen? Straight angle. A straight angle is how many degrees? So if I were to tell you the value of one of these angles, you should be able to find the value of the other angle, right? Okay, now let's go even deeper into this. Angle 2 has to be what type of angle, just by looking at it? What does that mean? Okay, so angle 2 has to be larger than 90. Angle 3 is what type of angle? And that also means what? So angle 3 is an acute angle, has to be less than 90 degrees. So I'm going to let you as a class decide. Do you want value of angle 2 or angle 3? Go. Okay, we'll vote. Who wants me to tell you what the value of angle 2 is? Raise your hand. So I'm assuming you guys all want angle 3. Okay, so you guys are going to get angle 3. Okay, so if angle 3 equals, and has to be less than 90 degrees, right? Let's say angle 3 equals, I'm going to pull a number. Let's say it equals 37 degrees. How much, or what is the value of angle 2? With your groups, go. How would you solve this? Adrian, how would you solve this? That's not negative. That's the arrow pointing to angle 3. Sorry. It's not negative 37 degrees. It's pointing to that. So, again, that's a straight angle. Angle 2 and angle 3 have to make 180 degrees. If angle 3 is 37 degrees, how can I solve what angle 2 is? We're not dividing. So, let me write this out. Angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 180 degrees. If angle 3 we know is 37 degrees, so I'm going to replace that. 37 degrees. We don't know what angle 2 is, so what can I replace angle 2 with? Remember last chapter. Angle 2 is our unknown value, so it can be a what? What did we call our unknown values in the last chapter? Someone help him out really quickly. An unknown value is our what, ladies and gentlemen? So I heard someone say it. Variable. So what do we normally represent a variable with, ladies and gentlemen? So this is how your question should be set up. Angle 2 is represented by x, the unknown value. Angle 3 is 37 degrees. They form a straight angle, which is 180 degrees. It's basic algebra, which you guys did last chapter. So you guys would need to isolate the variable to figure out what angle 2 equals. So what would I do here, ladies and gentlemen? Subtract what? I would subtract 37 from, ladies and gentlemen, remember mirror effect? Both sides. Now, with your group, what should angle 2 equal? Okay, let's do this. 0 minus 7. Can I do that? What do I need to do? Okay, quiet hands, quiet hands. Borrow from. Okay, that would become. And then after I borrow, I get. I'm going to ignore the degree symbol. Okay, Blake, 10 minus 7. Cody, what's my next step? Are you paying attention? Okay, you guys know I'm going to call you out. So, what's 7 minus 3, Cody? And Jaylene, what's 1 minus nothing? So, angle 2 should equal 100, and I know that I wrote that 4 a little weird. 143 degrees. And you would check this by adding 37 to it to make sure it is 180. That's 10, carry, 7, 8, 180. We're good. So that would be 100. What did we say it was? 143 degrees. And I don't like the way that looks. Yes?
Can't you just, like, if you know it in your brain, can't you just add it?
You could, but you still have to show me the work. Again, this is not an algebra chapter, so you don't have to put it as an algebra question. You could have literally just did 180 minus 37. You could have done that too. I just wanted to recall based on previous knowledge. So, based on that, you guys should be able to solve what angle 1 and 4 are without lifting a pencil. What is angle 1 going to equal, ladies and gentlemen? Ooh, okay, this is where we're going to get technical, because I heard one person say it, and the rest of you guys said 37. 37 is wrong. 37 degrees. Good job, I heard you. Good job. You have to say degrees, because we're dealing with a certain measurement. How tall are you? 5. That doesn't work. You don't just say 5. You say what? Or you get even more specific with, how much do you weigh? You can just yell a random number. You give the measurement. So with the angles, you cannot just put a number. You have to say what after it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, degrees. So I need the back of the room to start focusing, or I will start sending kids to the office. Angle 1 has to equal what again, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, now someone explain to me why angle 1 has to be 37 degrees. Thank you. What else are they? They're not just congruent. They are, somebody else, hand? They're vertical angles. Now, when you give the answer, you want to say vertical first, because vertical angles are then congruent. So, they are vertical angles. And since they're vertical angles, they're congruent, which means they equal each other. So angle 1 should be 37 degrees, which means that angle 4 has to be what, ladies and gentlemen? 143 degrees, because angles 2 and 4 are also what? Vertical and congruent. Thank you for putting in the right order this time. And then, again, you could literally just write it like that. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. That's what that means. All right, we've checked out a lot. We've checked off a lot on our look. We already learned vertex, right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, vertical angles, congruent. Now we just need adjacent angles, and we already learned our 2 symbols. Adjacent. Okay. Shh. Not okay. Hope the mic didn't pick that up. Okay, adjacent angles are 2 angles that share a common vertex and a common side that do not overlap. Now, I know that sounds a little weird, and this textbook didn't give us an example of when they would overlap, but let me give you guys an example of when they would overlap. This is angle 1, okay? Now, let me give you an example of an angle that overlaps. This is angle 2. Angle 2 includes angle 1 in it, doesn't it? Angle 2 overlapped. Now, that's not an adjacent angle. However, if this were angle 2, this is an adjacent angle. It's literally the angle next to it. So again, 2 very important parts to what makes an adjacent angle an adjacent angle. They have to share a common vertex, and they do not overlap. Now, when I say a common vertex, that means they are on the same side. Usually, not always, but usually, they'll form a straight angle. So, which 2 are adjacent here? There's a bunch of different ones. What angles are adjacent? Give me one example, Saul. Not 1 and 2. What did you forget? What did you forget in front of the numbers? What do you forget in front of the numbers, ladies and gentlemen? Angle. So, what 2 are adjacent? Angle, I know. Well, I'm seeing if you guys are paying attention. Again, you guys are, but you guys don't know the rules because you guys didn't raise your hand to tell me that the answers are on the board. I just caught you guys breaking my rules on the mic. And it's going to be on YouTube later. Good job. Okay. So, angles 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Everybody else can read what other ones are adjacent, ladies and gentlemen. Angle. Okay, and okay, so those are all adjacent angles, and we just learned our last vocab term for the lesson. Okay, now moving on. Now we're going to learn how to name our angles. This is very important because this is about the first half of your homework. Hang on, sorry. Okay, so there are 4 different ways we can name this angle, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do this without looking at the textbook. I don't know who's humming, but it needs to stop because it's distracting. Okay, the angles here are measured by different letters and a number. Okay, so 4 different ways of how I can identify this angle. I'll give you guys an example. I can look at the letters and name this angle X, Y, Z. And remember, it has to go in the order that the dots go in the line. I can't say angle XZY because angle XZY would be this angle. And that's not the angle we're measuring, correct? So it has to be in the order in which they go, and it can be the opposite order, which would make this angle what, ladies and gentlemen? ZYX. So that's your second way of naming the angle. The other 2 ways of naming the angle, anybody see one that they think what we could name it? There's some other stuff up there. What can we name it? No, we cannot name it ZXY because, again, that's not the order which the lines go. You are saying, essentially, that is the angle, and that's not the angle we're measuring. No. No, where did you get the 2 and the 3? No. Okay, no more 3 letters. I'm telling you right now, there's no more 3 letters. There are things up there. What is up there? No. Okay, the other 2 are angle 1, because the 1's right there, and there's no degree. That is not a 1-degree angle. There is no degree symbol. There's just a 1. So that can be angle 1. And the last one is a singular letter, which is angle Y. You can use the letter by the point where the lines meet. That is known as the what, ladies and gentlemen? Where the vertex. Again, a lot of this is going to be vocab. So that's why, Rowan, I couldn't answer your question earlier. Because, yes, it is vocab test kind of, but at the same time, it's not, but heavily vocab. So those are the 4 that you can name it. Give me 1 second. They're picking up the pizza for career day, and they're blowing up my phone. Oh, never mind. She's taking care of it. Okay, so this is an example from your homework. So let me model how I expect the homework to be done. You are going to write out. Oh, it's already there for me. Cool. I did this last period. So you're going to write out the question that they give you. There's the question. Question A gives you this angle. You're going to draw out the angle, and then you're going to answer the questions that follow. This asks us to name each angle in 4 ways, and then classify each angle as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Okay? So on your homework paper, you should be drawing out the angle. And now you're going to give me 4 different ways that I can name it. I'm going to pick on 4 random people, so pay close attention. Melanie, give me 1 way you can name this angle. There are 4 ways. Say that one more time. You're missing something before it. It's not just ABC. What is she missing, ladies and gentlemen? Angle. So remember, you do angle and then A, B, C. Izzy, what's another way I can name it? I can name it angle 2. I'm not asking for volunteers, guys. I'm picking on random people. Layla, another way I can name this. Yep. Angle CBA. And let's go with Hunter. What's my last one? There's only 1 more left. Elbow. No, I'm not calling on you. I'm saying don't give him the answer. Okay, somebody give him the definition of what he can use. Don't give him what it is. Remember, there are the 3 points. There's the number, and then there's what? The letter by the vertex. That's your hint. What letter's by the vertex, Hunter? So my last one would be... There you go. So that would be your answers for your homework. Now you have to identify what type of angle this is. Adrian, what type of angle is that? What type of angle is that? You have your notes? Review your notes. What kind of angle is that? The rest of you guys, no hands. I already called on him. And if you yell at the answer, you're going to earn yourself a detention. So look. What type of angle does that look like? So look at this one. See it? Look at these. What kind of angle is it? It's a right angle. Who can raise their hand and tell me what the dead giveaway was that indicated that this was a right angle? Delilah, what is the indication that that's a right angle? Oh, no. There's something specific. Let's see. Who I've not heard from today? Matthew, I haven't heard from you today. The square in the corner. Remember, anytime you see this, it's automatically a right angle. Also, just for clarification, if you put on your homework that this was a 90-degree angle, is that the correct answer? No, because it asked you what? What did it ask, ladies and gentlemen? What type of angle it was. You wanted you to classify it. Now, if I asked you how many degrees is that angle, the answer would be 90 degrees. So the answer here would be right angle. And this is what I would like for your homework to look like. Now remember, don't just write out the answers, because does that help you on your test or to study? Ladies and gentlemen, does it? No. So make sure you write out the question. Brody. What do you mean label it? If that helps you, yeah, but I still want you to copy all of that information down first.
How would we show our work then?
This is sufficient. If you want to do it that way, then you would go point to that and put right angle, point to this and do angle 2, point to those 3, and then give me angle ABC and CBA, and then point to that one and give me angle B. That should be fine. If that helps you memorize it for your stuff, that's good. For who? You want it now or at lunch? You want it now? Girl. Shh. Okay, refocus. Refocus, Melanie. Okay, so let's try this. With your group, actually not with your group, we'll just do this. Random hands. Earn your participation for today. Earn your participation for today. I need to know 4 different ways to name this angle and what type of angle. Ready? I didn't say go yet. We are not talking to other groups. Jason, I need you to turn around. Ready? Go. Adrian.
Angle 3.
Okay, he gave me angle 3. Brody.
Angle RST.
Angle RST. Andre. Angle S. And the last one, Delilah. Angle TSR. Good job. You guys made sure you guys do that. Izzy, what type of angle is this? Obtuse angle. What does an obtuse angle mean, Rowan? What is the definition of an obtuse angle? There you go. Okay, good job. Example C. If you already answered, don't answer. Okay, straight off, we're going to do names. Let's go, Jason. Angle 4. Other hands. Elbow. Say that again. Angle M, yeah. Zorawar. LMN. Rowan, you answered the last one. Forrest. Say that one more time. There you go. Angle NML. And ladies and gentlemen, what type of angle is this? Ready? Ready? Go. Okay, ladies. Wow. Was Zorawar right on that one? No, I said what type of angle? What type of angle is this, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, now wait for the follow-up question. How many degrees is a straight angle?
180.
Thank you. You guys added the degrees at the end of it. Awesome. All right. We are running close on time, so we need to finish this lesson. Okay, here's a real-world example. This is an actual intersection. Two roads that intersect. They want us to identify a pair of vertical angles and a pair of adjacent angles. Now, we don't have to name all of them, but there are a bunch of different answers. Recall your notes for what is an adjacent and what is a vertical. So, if you have not spoken today, this is your question. Looking at a few of you. So, if you want your participation points for today, you need to answer this question. Give me a pair of vertical angles. You've already spoken today. I'm looking at the kids that have not earned their participation points. Alexa. Shh. Okay, guys, don't do that. Blake, I know I've called on you once today, but give me a pair of vertical angles. 4 and 2. Okay, remember, how do we answer it? Angle 4 and angle 2. Okay, is there another pair, ladies and gentlemen? What's the other pair? Angles 1 and 3, angle 3 and 1. Either one is fine. If you want to do the rule of thumb, keep it in numerical order. All right, and then I need the quiet people like Lydia, Caitlin, Juliana to give me a pair of adjacent angles. Which ones are adjacent? I'll give you guys a hint. There are 4 different combinations. Caitlin, what do we got? Adjacent. Do you remember what adjacent is? Somebody raise their hand without looking at their notes and tell me what an adjacent angle is. Zaheen, go for it.
An angle that don't like I don't know how to explain it.
Somebody else want to try? Guys, side conversations. Hunter. Yes and no, but that's not what we're looking for. There's one other key point to that. That's one of them. Okay, they share a common vertex and they don't overlap. In English, that means they are next to each other. And which pairs are next to each other, Juliana? Ooh, answer it correctly. Angle
1 and 2.
Okay. What else do we got?
Angle 1 and 4.
Okay. Stop. Let them go. What else we got? Angles 3 and 2, and then what's the last one? She said that. She said 1, 2, she said 1, 4, and they said, what did you just say? 2, 3? Angles 2 and 3? Is that what you said? Yeah, same thing. Angle, the 2 bottom ones. Angles. There we go. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we need to talk about. We talked about this. Okay, so here's a good example. This question is super mean and wants you to find the value of x and then find the value of y. Now, because that's algebra, and we already did that last chapter, I do not want to test you on this. But if we're going to continue to interrupt class, then I'm totally going to throw these types of questions in there. So for right now, what I would do is this. I would label this angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4. What I would want is for you to figure out what angles 1 and 4 equal. Now, let me give you a hint. You can do this without picking up a pencil. Look at it, study it. Once you get it, talk to your group. Once you understand why you can solve it without picking up a pencil, talk to your group. And make sure you whisper so no other groups hear. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay, just like adjacent angles have two definitions. Whisper, yes, you're whispering, but it's also so no one else hears you. Do we know what angle 1 would equal just by looking at this? What would it equal? Without even having to pick up a pencil. What would angle 1 equal? I'm gonna give you a hint. It's on the board. So remember, for vertical angles, they equal each other. If they're opposite of each other, they equal each other. There you go. So how many degrees would angle 1 be? And then what about angle 4? How much would that equal? There you go. Okay, we're wrapping up in 3, 2, 1. I need somebody to raise their hand and explain to me how they found angle 1. Andre. Okay, there's one way. Hang on. Everybody listen. Why did you do 180 minus 50? Okay. He thought outside the box. I said without picking up a pencil, but technically if you did that in your mind, you're still right. Angles 1 and 2 make a what, ladies and gentlemen? Straight angle. So what Andre said was those two angles together should be 180. He subtracted 50 from 180. Yes, he technically didn't pick up a pencil, so he's still in the right. That equals 130, so that should be 130. So that's one way to solve it. Is there a second way to solve it? Elbow, since you're dancing over there, what is our second way to solve it? Okay. Well, what's vertical? You just said because they're vertical. Therefore, what? You're missing one thing. You're missing one key word. You're right. So far, you're right. So she said angles 1 and 3 are vertical, and if you look at angle 3, it's already there. Angle 3 is 130 degrees. But when they're vertical, there's also one other thing that makes them equal each other. What is that word, Elbow? Everybody else, help her out. What is that word? Congruent. So, therefore, angle 1 should be 130 degrees. Now, knowing that, what should angle 4 equal, ladies and gentlemen? 50 degrees, because angles 4 and 2 are vertical and congruent. Okay, so I may do something like this, where Andre was kind of onto something. I may give you this, not give you the values of the other ones, and then tell you what is the value of angle 1. Like Andre said, they should be 180, subtract 50. Angle 1 should be 130 degrees. Now, again, I'm not going to say what is the value of x. I'm not going to get that much into it. Because, again, I'm not testing you on algebra. I'm testing you on angles. No, just be that. Don't worry about it if you're actually paying attention in class. If you're not paying attention in class, then we have an issue. So, let's do one of those examples that Andre said. Here is this angle. I'm not even going to name them. That's a 115 degree angle. And then this angle is 5x. All I want you to do is tell me what the angle of 5x should equal in degrees. How can I solve this? Andre should know, because he just did it. Why is it 180? These two angles next to each other are what types of angles, ladies and gentlemen? The two angles together are what types of angles? Okay, no. Okay, hang on. Time out. Okay, I did not ask you to classify them. Listen to the question. Listen to kids. Okay. You guys got to listen to the words and read the directions carefully, because this is where you're going to get in trouble on the test. So again, the question was set correctly. These two angles together, that was the key word, are known as what? You guys keep saying obtuse and acute. No. The two angles together are known as what? They are adjacent angles. They are right next to each other. They don't overlap. They share a vertex. So, since these two are adjacent and they form a straight angle, If I add the two together, it should equal what, ladies and gentlemen? 180 degrees. Therefore, like Andre said, if you know one of them, you should be able to solve for the other one. So, since we have 115 degrees, what is the value of angle 5x? What is that value? Work with your group or do it by yourself mentally, write it on paper. What should be the measurement of angle 5x? So again, this is where the algebra comes in. 115 plus, instead of me saying 5x, I'm just going to put x because we don't know what that measurement is, equals 180. You subtracted 115 from both sides. The missing angle is now 180 minus 115, which gives me what, ladies and gentlemen? 0 minus 5 can't do. Borrow. 10, 5, 8 minus 1 is 6. This is 1 minus 1 is 0. So yeah, angle 5x, and I'd write it like this, equals 65 what, ladies and gentlemen? Degrees. And that's it. Okay, let's go over your homework because you guys are going to be doing that now. You guys have a work period tomorrow. For questions 1 through 6, you're doing exactly what we've already been doing, giving 4 names and then classifying, that's the key word, what type of angle, acute, right, obtuse, straight. If you guys are talking, you're not listening. For questions 7 through 12, refer to the diagram at the right. Identify each pair as adjacent, vertical, or neither. So they're saying angle 7 and 12. 7 and 12 are what, ladies and gentlemen? Adjacent. Remember, like we said earlier, they don't always form a straight angle. This is an example. 7 and 12 are adjacent, but those two together are not 180, right? What angles together would make 180? Angles 12, 7, and 8 together would make 180. Yeah, pay attention to that straight line. So 12 and 7 are adjacent. Then they would ask angles 8 and 11. What type of angles are 8 and 11, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, no. Okay, again, you guys are not listening to the question. Look at the directions. Okay, again, when we are classifying the angle, that's obtuse, acute, straight. When I ask you what type, identify the type of angles, 8 and 11 are what, ladies and gentlemen? Vertical angles. So please read the questions carefully, because if you tell me on the homework, they're both acute, you're wrong. And then questions 13 through 18, refer to the figure at the right to determine the measure of each given angle. They're giving you some measurements. Again, you should be able to figure out what they are by using congruency. Hint, hint, wink, wink. This shouldn't be hard. And that's class. So tomorrow you guys have a work period. Make sure you guys pack up. Okay, wait. I'm going to stop the recording.